Yes, it's another episode of the Pirate Broadcast Q&A. So I want to get on my phone here, and I know that there are so many talented people in the world today that I suspect we're going to have some people entering the Pirate Broadcast and understanding a little bit more on different subjects around the world. So welcome. This is where we bring interesting people to talking about interesting things. And today is a Q&A day. I like to take the week out, or at least one day of the week out, and answer some questions and, just kind of highlight some people that are doing some amazing things that I like. And also to remind you that you can, you can follow the Pirate Broadcast, hashtag Pirate Broadcast, right here. It's right up here on the screen. Yeah, right there. And follow that hashtag, and also follow me on other social media platforms. LinkedIn Live is one platform, but I'm also on here. Let me actually show you. Uh, let me put this ticker up. Is this it? Yeah, russjohns.com. I can be there, and I'm trying to get to the. I'm working my way to the profile here, so we can actually get engaged. Engaged, Captain. Oh, so let's see what we got here. Take this down. Sherry, good morning. So, Sherry, you asked a question yesterday about, you asked Anton if it's better to create a habit. Philip, good morning. Vicky, how are you? Let's ask some questions here. It's Is it better to create a habit? I don't remember the exact phrasing you used on the question, Sherry, but it was, do you replace a habit or do you need a goal to replace a habit? And I tagged Anton in that, and I haven't seen that he's responded yet. However, I haven't gone through all my comments yet. And goals are great. Set an intention. This is the way I look at it. Set an intention and start going for it and then daily practice creates habits. Motivation is sometimes elusive. And if you create a habit of doing something, then your goals, by doing active steps toward your goals, will create a habit. And then, just like this show, if I do it every day, a year from now, I'll have a few episodes. Probably a few more people will know about it, and I can highlight several more people. And that's kind of the way it works for me. So, super fantastic, Russ. Thanks for asking. I'm very well on this Thursday. I'm super excited. I cannot believe that 2020 is right around the corner, because it just feels like 1980 was 20 years ago. Seriously, I'm amazed at how quickly time flies when we're having fun, right? And I know that every day not every day is the best day possible. However, sometimes you have to choose to make it the best day possible. It's not always, it just doesn't arrive automatically. You have to kind of work for it sometimes. It takes 6 weeks to change your habit, Philip. That's what Philip says. I don't disagree with that. What's the consensus here? Vicky, what do you think? 6 weeks to change a habit? Yes, daily comments to follow through. Smaller goals are more achievable as well. I just love that idea. And, I think a lot about motivation. It's like, okay, I know, and I liked what Anton said yesterday about, give 10%. pay yourself first, and that goes to your health. And I haven't taken care of myself like I need to. And obviously, it's the new year, you start thinking about things like that, and it's like, well, you can start thinking about that anytime. And it's just that it's just pick a day. You're worth it. You are worth it. Choose to make a great day. Yes, I choose to make it a great day. It's not always easy, and it's that simple. Choose to make it a great day. You cannot allow somebody to ruin your day unless you allow them to ruin your day. You have a choice. It's right up here. So do that. 4 to 6 weeks to change a habit. Really depends on how long you've had the original habit. That makes sense. Jeff, so what's your big question for the day on a Thursday Thoughts Pirate Broadcast Q&A? Let's talk about something. What's the one thing you're challenged by today that we can talk about? Is it thinking about what is 2020 going to do? What is the new decade? How is that going to be for you? That's my question. What are you thinking about in 2020? What is it that you want to accomplish the next decade that you've been working on for the last decade? For the last decade, I've been working on exactly this, working towards understanding how I can simplify this process to get to the point where I can broadcast and highlight people. Angie, good morning. Philip, every day, wake up and tell myself that I choose to be good and I choose to be the good I want to see in the world. That's awesome. Be the change. Be the change, Philip. I wake up with gratitude. There have been many times in my life where a different outcome, I probably wouldn't be here. Just a little bit. I've wrecked cars at high speed. I've had guns pointed at me. I've fallen 3 stories. Nearly fell off a cliff one time. What does that have to do with gravity? Yeah, it's a gravity thing. The point is that every day is a gift. I wake up and I care for my parents. I'm here in Arizona. Dad's 91. He has dementia. And mom's 83 and she has some health issues as well. Neither one drive. So driving, appointments, doctor visits, things like that. And I know one day they're not going to be here. So every day is a gift. Remember that. Once we think about we are becoming good, then it works. Paul, from marketing perspective, if you have 10, 250, 500, where do you spend the first in a small business, and where do you put your money first? Where do you put your money first? For a small business owner, where do you put your money first? Let's talk about that. Sherry, everybody's different. However, it depends on the business. If you're brick and mortar business, it's going to be different than if you're an online business. If you're, say for instance, if you're a small business owner that has a product and a product launch, one of the best investments you can make to quickly build relationships, for me, in my opinion, the best results have been going to conferences, meeting people that are 2 steps ahead of you, building a relationship, and maintaining those relationships. The other good investment that I would suggest, and being a marketing person, I could say, hey, just spend it on marketing. And I think there's a certain foundation that needs to be in place and understood is that if a web presence, a social media presence, and then just take the time. And this doesn't cost anything. You can create content. You can create a web presence. You can create a online presence very cost effectively. You know, do it simple, start simple, and see where you can grow. However, I would engage in, Ronan Leonard is online. He's also a proponent of masterminds. Masterminds are a good place because what it does is it gives you a group of individuals that are like-minded individuals that are struggling, excelling, succeeding in the same ways that you are in your business in kind of a parallel fashion. And then what that does is allows you to see the blind spots that others have experienced. And so if you go to conferences, build relationships, and maybe get a couple of people together and start a mastermind, I think that alone, and I've been doing masterminds for probably, I don't know, 4 years now. And the reality is that find people that'll tell you when you're off course and you're not doing what you need to do. They'll call you out on your BS. That's what it is. So, Sherry, that's an excellent question. I love that question. Building relationships is, and I 100% agree with you. You can have a couple of almost. I can track back. I picked up another client yesterday, and a lot of my clients are relationship based. Almost all my jobs in the last 30 years have been because I have relationships with people. So whatever you can do to invest in a relationship. And conferences are good because you got a lot of people in the same place with the same goal in mind. You know, you have people and meet the speakers, attempt to get, a relationship going with influencers that are, an influencer to me is just someone that's ahead of you. And I talk about this, you're standing in line for a new iPhone. People are behind you, people are in front of you. That's the way it is in any business industry. Is there are going to be people that know more and have more experience than you, and the reality is they probably have a little more sleepless nights. And there's people that are looking at you going, "Wow, how did she get there?" So work on your own, build relationships, ask people good questions, investigate details. So, and I'm not. Lewis, good morning. I hope everyone has a groovy day. I love that. I was a musician and I turned into a tune farmer because because I used to be a farmer, and I was performing in Houston, and I did it digitally, so it was digitally grown grooves. So have a groovy day. Little sidebar story there. Uh, Philip, on average, it takes 2 years to build enough relationships to become successful. And here's the thing, and a good point, Philip, is there's really, what does success mean to you? To me, it's not all about the money. It's about the freedom. It's about the flexibility. I'm here spending time with my parents. I'm spending time with my family, and to me, that's then I fly to Houston. I go spend time with my son about every 30 to 60 days, and being able to do that and work anywhere is important to me. That's not necessarily important to everyone. Everybody has a different goal, but relationships, I think, are the key, and that's where you can invest the most time. Absolutely. Amen. You'll never learn anything if you're the smartest person in the room. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. That's why I love LinkedIn, because there's a lot of smart people here, and we're all working towards the same goal. We're all working towards the same goal. And to me, it's all about community. It's about building relationships. I have a lot of connections, and I continue to build relationships with people and investigate, because I'm fascinated by what people are doing. And if you stay curious and you stay invested in what people are doing, and you care. Did you guys realize that Jeff Young has delivered 60 free LinkedIn seminars this year? 60 seminars this year. That's amazing. Hats off to you, Jeff. And I would like to know, Jeff, if you're still on and you're here, what kind of introductions do you do? Is it relationship based? Do you promote that? Do you ask questions? Do you go out and talk to people about that? Do you have an outreach program? What's your system? What's your process? We may have to have you back on the Pirate Broadcast to share that, because Jeff is already a pirate. So flexibility means a lot. It does to me. Go, Paul. There's so many things in this world that people want to define for us. And I think success in a lot of respects has an opportunity to, reflect on how we define what is right for us. Some people go to the trades. Some people learn on their own. Some people go to college. Some people have a job and build job experience. There's so many ways you can learn. There's so many ways you can do things. And now, more than any other time in the history of humanity, there's so much information available to us right now, and it's continuing to grow. So if you want to investigate something, you want to go out and achieve something, even on a small scale, it's possible. It's available to us. So that's just my opinion. There's so many opportunities out there. The opportunities are endless. So being retired from the military has given me the freedom to do whatever I want. Hats off to you, and thank you for serving. Appreciate that. Arcot. Guitarist 2, the classic rocks, 80 types guy. Yeah. Love the 80s. I toured around the Northwest, the US and Canada in the early 80s. We had a bus and, a bunch of guys floating around the countryside, playing at different towns. It was a good time. Thoughtfulness. I love thoughtfulness. If you take the time to watch the news, you could get depressed. And I encourage you to maybe filter some of that out of your life. I haven't owned a TV. I haven't officially owned a TV since 1995. 1995, yeah. And I haven't missed it. I mean, streaming media is out there, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, and there's still media available. However, everyday stuff is filtered out of my life for a reason. And I think I'm a more positive person as a result. So all the time in the world, but I feel like I'm starting over. Philip, I understand that. And I encourage you to embrace starting over again. Not because it's hard, but because think of it as a clean slate. You can do anything you want, because you can do anything you want. Sometimes you have to decide. That's not necessarily, it's the fear of choosing the wrong thing, I think, is overwhelming to some people. And, it's like, well, what if I waste my time doing that? Well, think of it another way. Think of it as I had an experience that I learned a few skills, and I found out that I didn't like doing what I thought I wanted to do. How many times, I just show of hands here, how many times have you thought you wanted to do something, and then once you actually did it, you discovered that it wasn't exactly the experience that you had anticipated, good or bad? So think about that. Think about the experience that you imagined versus the experience you had and the difference between the two? What's the gap? Because it's just experience. Achieve it, enjoy it, recognize it for what it is. You get told you're overqualified. Well, many of us are overqualified about a lot of things. Oh, yeah. Yes, clean slate. We decide what we want to write it on. I love that. Starting over was the best thing that happened to Angie. And it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, I fell 35 feet, 3 stories, shattered my arm. I was a drummer, changed my life. And I can't say that it's changed it. You know, I nearly lost my arm. I was in the hospital. You know, I was really sick because I had a really bad infection, and I had to be hospitalized, and you know, because I got a lot of complications. Let's just say there were complications, and it changed the course of what I had imagined I was going to do. And I don't regret the experience. I don't put any weight on it. It's just an experience. It taught me a lot. I learned from it. I decided and made different choices as a result of that experience. And you take what you're doing and see how you can make the best of it. Because if you look at it from an opportunity versus a challenge, things look a lot different. So what can you learn from the experience you're having today? Philip, I love learning new things. In fact, I love learning new things too much. So I encourage all of us to keep working together, keep talking, keep having conversations. And I just love the opportunity to do this show and share some of the highlights and some of the people doing some other things. And it's really satisfying to me to understand that you can make choices in your world. You can choose who you hang out with, in or out of work. Sometimes work is a little challenging because you don't necessarily get to choose who you work with. However, you might be able to adjust who you spend time with at work to encourage and enlighten you. And if you're always working with people that have a bit more experience than you, you're always going to be learning. Always be learning. Kenyatta, good morning. Exactly, Russ. Life happens. Take it for what happens and keep trying to make it better. Amen. Just take what you have. You know, it amazes me, like Elon Musk, you know, it's like going to Mars, big audacious goal. However, he's doing other things, and you know, Microsoft, you know, Bill Gates is doing different things now that he's outside of the company. You know, we all matter. We all matter, and you can make a difference in your world. And don't diminish the fact that you're here. Don't diminish the impact you have. Remember, smiles are free. You have an opportunity to impact someone's life today. You know, let them in traffic. Open the door. Share a compliment. Have someone smile. You know. Do I get bored mastering new things? Yes, repetition is my biggest weakness. I don't care for repetition. However, I look at it as building systems. If you can document, you can delegate. And if you can delegate, you can achieve scale. Because if I'm working, I only have so many hours in the day. I only have so many hours in the week. However, if I can document something and delegate it, then as a business owner and an entrepreneur, I can actually delegate that task. And now it allows me to scale more, just like this show. Most of the work I've done is I've documented this show. I've delegated the tasks. And my sister, who is also my administrator, my business associate, she actually puts it up. She gets it going. She posts it. It's all out there. She does the graphics. Everything else is, and I get to do the show. So think of it as, what can I do and how can I change repetition into delegating or build a system for it? So it's just framing in your mind. It's just framing in your mind. And 168 hours a week, yes. Unless you have 5 people working for you, then you have a few more, right? People will, the learner strength can feel bored once they master something. Yeah, Lori. Good morning. They want to learn something new. I'm always curious. My curiosity has caused me to learn more things than I would probably normally learn. Because I'm curious. It's like, okay, this weekend I'm going to be doing a video shoot for a yoga studio in Flagstaff. So that's kind of random, I think. Great insight. Yes, Alcott. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I truly do. Doug, tell my children to learn something new every day. Be inquisitive and responsible. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, encourage yourself to ask questions about things, dig in a little deeper, and ask somebody that's doing it. Say for instance, like with Philip, if Philip, if you're going to go, if you're thinking about something and you're struggling because they say you're overqualified or you're this or that or the other thing. There's some things that, maybe you look at a different industry or a different opportunity that drives you to learn something new, that allows you to expand your curiosity in a different focus, a different area. I've been everything from a farmer to a firefighter to a musician to a project manager to a business owner. I mean, the diversity that I've had in my life is, when I think about it, it's kind of insane. And it's given me a lot of experiences that I would not normally have as a result of these experiences that I've leaned into, investigated, brought out my curiosity, and done some things that are different. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Keep your mind open for exploring experience and learn new things. I love that, Angie. Thank you so much. You always good to keep your mind open and exploring new experiences and new things. Always keep an open mind. A closed mind is a terrible thing. Overqualified is a cord that you cost too much, or they're afraid that you'll be bored in the role. That's true. That is very true. I remember back in, I think it was 2000, a decade ago. All right. A decade ago, now that I think about this, I was working in corporate, making a lot of money in the downturn, and the company went bankrupt, Chapter 11. It ended. That thing ended. And when you're climbing the corporate ladder, sometimes you're on the wrong building, right? Just saying. And so I got out, and I wasn't exactly the youngest guy in the room. So the wages, the experience, and everything else, that was code for like, yeah, we don't want to spend that much because there's a lot of people looking for work right now. So I just started my own thing again and started it up. And I always had side jobs. So maybe you should look at something that you could do that interests you, Philip. Maybe you create your own job. You know, if you're skilled and you have talent and you have the ability, everybody has the ability. Not everybody has the desire. So, and I'm the first one to tell you that it's not easy. It's challenging to start your own business and do your own thing because you have to decide everything yourself. There's not a corporate structure in place that tells you what the rules are. It's like being a pirate. You know, it's you get to make up your own rules. And it could be good or it could be bad, depending on your perspective. So keep an open mind. Yeah. Veterans transitioning military need to hear this conversation. Philip, there's a great I'm one of the mentors of a new organization called Vet Speak, Vet Speak, and it's on LinkedIn. There's a group here, and it's transitioning military. 270,000 military veterans transition into civilian life. And I think I believe there are a lot of transferable skills that people don't realize because the military has a certain personality and they have naming conventions and they have nomenclature that they work with and they have, processes that they've developed over years of being there. And when veterans come out of the military, they don't always recognize this, public life because some of the terms are different, some of the names are different. And I think that there's a huge opportunity. And I have a couple of opportunities out there that for people that are looking for jobs. So DM me, I'll get you connected. And there's things out there that are happening that you can get plugged into. There's a lot of people helping out and a lot of people that are interested in contributing to that cause. So you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. So it's fun making your own rules, but challenging at the same time without having someone to bounce ideas off. That's why I encourage you to think about having a mastermind. And it doesn't have to be, I have a mastermind it's all over the country, different ages, different diversity, businesses in the same kind of community, but different focuses. And so it's been the best thing that's happened to me in my business over time is get some feedback, build relationships, and have someone that you can bounce ideas off of. Ask, hey, does this make sense? Does this make sense to you? Does this really, is this possible? Have you heard of it? Have you done it? Have you experienced it? Self-certified, then take VOSB, and then take go-to-market strengths to VA group. That's awesome, Sherry. I love that idea. Lewis, regardless of what color uniform we wore, the veterans will always have structure and understanding. For teamwork, keep pressing forward. Absolutely. Lewis, thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much for being here. Sherry, thank you for being here. Vicky, Arcot, Angie, Lewis, Lori, Jeff, Kenyatta. I have all the gratitude in the world. And the reason I do this is because I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to the world. And I believe that by giving back and helping others, that we all win. We all work together for a mutual goal and understanding that there's things that we can do in life that we may not believe we can do until we actually go out and try it. And I encourage you to go out and try to expand your ideas, your mind, and your opportunities, and bringing interesting people on the Pirate Broadcast and talking about interesting things and being here and available to open up to the conversation, have a conversation around it, I think is important for us. And I'm also on YouTube and I'm also on Facebook and I'm on Twitter. And I'm also on social platforms. So if you're out there connecting, please connect. Let's build a relationship. I like to bring up, regular people all the time. And I encourage you to reach out and ask questions, because I'm happy to bring someone on and look at that and ask the questions and find somebody to get an answer for us, because that's what we want to do for the community. So anyway, I really truly appreciate it. The year is coming up to a close. 2020 is right around the corner, and you're amazing. Go out and enjoy the day. Make the very best of it, because kindness is cool. Smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Love you all.